We're taking it all back. We're taking it all back. We're taking God back. We're taking God its back. We're taking religion back. We're taking science back. We've given away our way to understand the universe. To people who don't have our best interest in heart, the only thing they have at heart is their desire to get prestigious awards, their desire to have a good living while all the rest of us are striving and working hard in order to barely make it. They are dedicated to their status, not to giving us the truth or living the truth. They only want to pretend as though they have more worth and dignity than everyone else, like they are the only ones who are awake and enlightened. And so they argue against those who are really awake and enlightened. The ones who call themselves woke, you see. You see, the problem with people who call themselves woke is that those people see the truth and understand the truth and respond to the truth. What is the truth? It is the same truth that took place when woke the word was invented. When black people down the South were riding around through the segregated South and could be pulled over any time by white supremacists and Klan members. If a person in the car started to drift off, the one driving would say, "Stay woke. You have to make sure that it's safe so I'll know so we can get away if there's danger." That is what the word woke means. It means being aware, knowing where you're at, knowing the dangers, being able to look out and perceive what's going on so that you can stay safe and take care of your family and your friends and your community. The greedy people don't want us to be able to do that. As soon as we are woke, we are no longer like sheep, dependent on them. When we become woke, we are fully human, even more human than those who are always trying to reframe the word and make it into something negative. They jumped on trying to reframe this word during the time when all of these people were being murdered by the police, all of these black people. So Black Lives Matter and many white allies went to the streets protesting the hatred and violence. It frightened them. They had never seen a multicultural crowd working together to fight against hatred, violence, and fascism. So they had to find a way to separate them and to destroy them. So they started using this word woke and trying to bring up images of black crowds going crazy and fighting and kicking and killing people and canceling people's jobs so that people would latch on to that word and think that people who worked as social activists, who worked to create a world that was better for everyone instead of the ones who are paid by billionaires to pretend as though they were activists, to create a better world just for themselves. They wanted to make the ones that were the real ones seem bad, and the ones who perpetuated evil seem good. Attaching woke to what they perceived of as negative was their plan. But it's not working, you see. It's not working because once you wake up, there's no going back. One of the biggest ways they can keep people from waking up is by giving them a false history, omitting the truth, censoring things, I'm having a discussion with a person right now on Facebook who is supposed to be part of this so called college teaching about religion, and one of their courses is about the dangers of and the falsity of CRT, or critical race theory. Critical race theory was basically created in law schools, and it was to help judges and lawyers and prosecutors understand that there are these different racial biases that can happen with juries and in the court system that will unfairly target one group over the other. Critical race theory is taught at a very high level of law school and some high levels of graduate school. It hasn't been taught to anybody except people in specific fields. It's not taught in junior highs, it's not taught in high schools, it's not taught in most undergraduate schools. But the far right, they pretend as though it has been, and that it is, and that it demonizes white people. They're creating a false problem, and then they work to get rid of this false problem when it never exists. And then once they've made enough noise, they say they've gotten rid of it. They didn't get rid of anything though, because what they're complaining about was never real. And nowadays we find that most of the things, most of the complaints we have nowadays are not about things that are real. But no one wants to deal with the things that are real, except for those who are woke, those who are awake, those who are enlightened, those with liberal ideals, even if they are not of the liberal party, which are ideals that say that one should be free, one should be educated, one should be able to have discussions, one should be able to chart their way in life, one should be able to create the lifestyle that they desire if they work for it. This is another word, liberal, that the so called far right, who is not very right most of the time, has tried to taint. I only speak of these things because the truth is that we need to reclaim all of these words for ourselves. Are you willing to give away your power to define your reality? Your power to commute with your community? Your power to stay aware of what is going on around you, and your power to do what is right in your heart? And that is bring forth the love and compassion that is built inside of you, that is given to you by the divine, that is the divine. Are you willing to bring about justice? In the Hebrew scripture, the idea of justice was different than the Greeks. With the Greeks, justice was seen as a scale, you see, where things had to balance, but someone had to be in power to hold the scale. In the Hebrew scripture, justice was like a river running to the source and creating justice, was making it so that all these different streams and eddies could flow in harmony together, moving to the source. And this, my friends, is what doing justice, loving mercy, and walking humbly with one's own God is about. It's about making it so that the obstructions are moved, and that all different people, different ethnicities, sexual orientations, races, genders, people from different classes can all flow smoothly together towards the source of life. That is what justice and social activism is about. And anyone who is part of a church that is teaching teachings that go against this ideology is against the God they claim to follow. And if they are Christian, it is much worse because the teachings of Jesus talk about helping to feed and clothe the poor. They talk about accepting the immigrant. They talk about helping the helpless. They talk about loving the neighbor as oneself, and they talk about treating the stranger with loving kindness. Many of the Christian churches, however, are anti-Christ, teaching against the teachings of Jesus while claiming to be Christian. But even people who don't go to church at all can see this. And even now, the power of those churches are being taken away, except from those who are asleep. Yes, a long time ago I never even used the word woke, but I use that word now only because if they are against it, it must be good. The only place that woke goes to die is in the head of a stupid person. So anyway, this discussion I've been having on Facebook with this person is very interesting because they seem to be asleep also. They seem to think that it's okay for a school that's supposed to be a seminary to lie about critical race theory and to present it as something that is not, and to go against it when it's about creating social justice and harmony. And they seem to think that that's okay because that's what the far right wants. This person is definitely ignorant and asleep. And the problem is, you see that willful ignorance is not just ignorance. When a person doesn't know anything, all that is necessary is that they need to learn what they don't know, and then they move on, they change, and they grow. But when a person resists hearing the truth over and over again, that is what is known as stupidity, being ignorant on purpose. And that is what this person is guilty of. And I call these people the people who are asleep. Anti-intelligence. That is what many people are guilty of nowadays. People who you cannot get through to. People who will not listen. And sometimes it's good just to let go of such people until they are ready. And if they are never ready, it's good to let go of them altogether. But while doing this is also necessary to form a very powerful group of people who believe in truth, who believe in justice, who have connected with the divine source, who don't need to argue about the name or the concepts or to question whether there is a God walking around like a white man in heaven. People who have moved beyond that. It's time for us, the ones who have connected, the ones who have awakened, the ones who are awoke, to join together in one powerful voice and to say no to the fear, no to the hatred, no to the created scarcity, no to the power of the corporate media and those who hate to define reality for us. It's time to us to reclaim our stories, reclaim our myths, reclaim the teachings that come from the many traditions that teach us about life and love and the way our minds and bodies and spirits work. It's time for us to reclaim the science, the arts, the ability to move freely financially, which is something that the crypto market is doing even as they try to destroy it. It's time for us to learn about the things that will break the cycle and make us free. And that is what we are trying to do and trying to pass on this channel. We who believe in truth must speak the truth clearly and live the truth and draw on that divine power that moves in us and through us all in order to make a way where there is no way. To shine like the morning sun that not only chases away the darkness, no, but transforms it to the light of love and hope. And then we become like the burning flame of affection that devours everything that is not love. And when we have devoured that which is not love within ourselves, all that is left within us is love, because that is who we are. That is the true self. If anyone ever tells you that you are bad or you're negative or you are ugly or stupid because you don't believe what they want, that is a sign. It is a sign that they are projecting what they are on the inside onto you. Because even the deepest Christian teachings say that you are the light of the world. You are the city of God, or that which that divinity that they call life dwells in. That's what you are. It doesn't say you have to do anything to be like that. It says that's what you are now. And it's time for us to accept our real identities instead of depending on people who hate and who want us to behave the way they want us to be, like worker bees, so that they can ride on the top of a wave of ignorance and grab all of the resources that are available to each and every person. According to some economists, each household should have at least $140,000 income from the work of doing a 40-hour work week. But you see, ever since the 60s, our wages have been driven down on purpose and have all gone to the top 1% and some to the top 10%. So we find ourselves in this world, this false world of scarcity, when there is enough for everyone. Enough money, enough food, enough housing, enough beauty, enough grace, enough love for everyone. And one day we will rise above the darkness of this world and enter back into the light from which we come. For we are all parts of this great light, like small fingers or hands reaching into the earth to bring about truth and justice, to bring about faith and hope and love. We are the gods you see, that we seek and worship. We are but branches from these divine beings or these expressions of love manifested into the earth, feeding our minds and our hearts and our spirits and our loves back to the universal consciousness, the universal mind, so that that mind experiences the hurt, the pain, the struggle, and the suffering, and realizes that beings on a lower level have worth, have dignity, and have beauty, and have life, and realizes that it takes much struggling to rise above those things. It realizes that one must be compassionate compassionate, and caring. And in that way, God, Goddess, the divine, remains a being of love, compassion, and caring, instead of the vengeful old ugly thing that many of the religions have been trying to force feed us for so many centuries. So thanks for being with us. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Make this channel viable if it can ever happen. And if you really want to help, check out the link below. It's about ways of creating passive income for yourself and for your family. There's no guarantee. Every investment is a risk, but if it is done wisely, you can make a good profit and it will help you make a good living. I say this only as a person who is experimenting with these things myself, not as a advisor or a financial person, but only as a person who is being successful with these things. And the truth is, you see, that we must share our successes together in order to create a better world for ourselves, our children, and our children's children. Thanks for being with us, and may the rest of your day and week be pleasant. Namaste, everyone.